Welcome to Girls Talk Rock, where the musician's creativity finds its voice. And here are your hosts, Tracy Smith and Beth Venus.
I am Tracy Smith.
This is Beth Venus.
And we are Girls Talk Rock. Welcome.
We're just on page today.
We are so on page.
Well, there's a lot going on. And before we get into what our guest is and what our objective and vision is for today, I want to let everybody know that we've got Connor Rice, our intern. He just graduated over at the old Palomar College, and now he's going to be here with us coming and going again. We're so glad to have you back, Connor.
Shout out.
Hello. He might make some very insightful questions during today. So make sure you know when you hear that if it's not Paul,
Paul's
if it's
not
talking. Sexy Paul, it's our intern
Paul's not
Connor.
talking because he's got a mouthful of super crunchy, chewy, gluten-free peanut butter bars that I specifically made him for today's show.
Dang. But when you
gluten-free.
said a mouthful
I'm
first,
like a dog with a mouthful of peanut butter.
He is. He's licking it up.
Well, again, before we get started, I just want to say thank you again to the wonderful people over at Kaboo who took care of us here at Enter Talk Radio and Girls Talk Rock. We're going to have some guests from that, the wonderful program they had in the month to come, and we'll tell you more about that. We also want to let everybody know that we've got some cool projects. We're going to be over at... oh gosh, I'm so excited about Zombie Fest in Long Beach. Zombie Fest Long Beach is October 14 through 16. Enter Talk Radio. Once again, Girls Talk Rock will be representing and checking things out. I don't know if you'll recognize us for, all the Girls Talk Rock fans out there who do come over and say hello to us. We will be, I think, zombied out. Yeah,
I think so. We will.
And not just like in the mental capacity.
By the end of it, we will be. But in the beginning, let's be getting into the zombie.
I think I'm gonna do that. I'm going big. Connor, are you gonna join us at Zombie Fest and Zombie Out? He's shaking his head.
Yes,
this is radio
he's shaking his head.
You have to speak. We're gonna get him speaking. He's visual.
That was great.
So I want to invite everybody to, we do have some tickets to give away that are 3-day passes. So we're going to have some party packs.
And tell them all about the House Blues, quick.
And House of Blues, we want to invite everybody. We're having a little pre-Halloween party on Sunday.
Yes.
This is House of Blues San Diego. House of Blues, October 23rd. It's a Sunday evening. Doors open at 6.
Groove Kitty.
Groove Kitty's going to start the night. We're going to play a little glam rock, have a little fun, little guilty pleasure arena rock and pop style. And then right after that will be Cheap Trick, which is the national tribute to Cheap Trick. And that's like crazy fun, Raleigh and Rodney.
I want you to want me. That's right.
I want you to want me.
That's right.
And then a nice early show on Sunday evening closing with the ultimate tribute to Kiss.
Who?
Kissed Alive.
Okay, Kissed Alive. Oh, my God.
I want to let everybody know that not only for Zombie Fest in Long Beach, which is north of us, it's kind of like North LA-ish, but it's a really great event, as well as for this House of Blues October 23rd show. We've got
tickets.
We do. We're the ones you want to contact. We've got a nice old bushel for Zombie Fest, and we've got a bigger bushel.
Oh.
Yeah.
We like bigger bushels.
Bigger bushels for House of Blues on October 23rd.
Naughty.
The cool thing about that show is an all-ages show, which is not very common.
No, it's not.
Especially for a regular show if it's not like a high school or college group performing there. So this is, kind of a real live fun show. And we have some party packs to give out. What we're asking you to do is to send us a picture of you in a previous costume at Halloween time. Send us something. We're going to have you send a message
or your best killer rock shot in costume.
In costume at a Kitty, Cheap Trick, or Kiss concert.
There you go.
So those are 2 ways you can enter yourself to win some free tickets for those shows. So we're very excited to start messaging away at Girls Talk Rock on Facebook.
Speaking of rock shows, our guest today, let's get to her.
Yes!
She does a girls rock camp in Madison, Wisconsin, and that's part of the reason we brought her on. But she also does a cosplay, dress up in a band called, what do we call it?
Oh, it is too cool. It's okay.
Let's go ahead and introduce her, and then she can tell us what the names of the bands is that she's doing, and then why she's doing them.
I'm going to keep eating Skittles. You just go do your thing, sweetie.
We're going to talk to Maggie Maggerson today. Maggie, are you there?
Welcome.
I am. Hello.
Okay, and now I just remember the name of your band. Supervillain Fire Drill is one of the bands that you are doing, and you can tell us all about that right now since we're talking about it.
Wait, let's start with that. That's
okay,
fun.
Cool. So Supervillain Fire Drill is this really, really cool ska cover band that I play guitar in. Oh gosh, we've been playing together for like 3.5 or 4 years. We do, first wave, second wave, third wave ska. We turn not ska songs into ska songs. We have like an I Will Survive cover because everybody loves that song, and making it into a ska tune just totally made sense.
Hey, Mama loves a little Survive, yeah.
Yeah, everybody loves that song. I'm not wrong. So we have a lot of fun. We are a group of all women, which is pretty rare because we play a lot of shows with a lot of all dude bands.
It's a sausage fest, let's just say it.
Because when girls talk rock, people listen. That's why.
That's right. And when girls play rock, they also listen. So that's
right. Cool. Awesome.
Yeah, so that's one of the things that I do for fun in my spare time.
That's totally cool. What's the other band that you do real quick so we can get that out there?
Okay. Right. This is another band name you're going to love. I play bass in a band called Imaginary Watermelon.
Sweet.
That's delicious.
Yeah.
I said sweet. No, she said delicious. You get it? Watermelon?
Yeah.
I'm sensing a theme here. Definitely. No. So we're, that outfit, that is another all-female outfit, which is great. I mean, like, everybody kicks butt in that band.
So you guys are
mostly originals.
Oh, go ahead.
I'm sorry?
So one's original, one's an original band, and one is kind of like fun.
I'm saying, so you guys are actually representing with the females and that's what Girls Talk Rock is all about. The female voice, the female point of view, the female edge when it comes to rock or ska or punk or whatever you want to do. But
can I just say something?
Definitely.
Go for it.
I think it's this. I got to get this off my chest. Okay?
Go for it.
I just think it's so important that when a guy band is all guys, we should start saying an all guy band. It's all guys.
That's a really good point.
Because, anywhere else in the industry in the world, it's such a slam when they're like, well, it's all female doctors. And it's like, well, I think it's more frustrating when it's all male of anything. Like you see a bunch of chefs and they're all men. And you're like, God, more women cook in the world than anything. But all the chefs are men. And if you go to the station, what's the eating station? The wonderful food station.
The Food Network.
Yeah, all there's like
the greatest
one
channel.
or two. Yeah, it's so awesome. But like, I want a Bourdain that's a woman. I'm so sick of like this guy will eat, the penis of a ram, and this guy travels to places around the world.
What?
But they don't have
bull balls.
Yeah, more balls. They fry them, they bake them, they boil them,
and they're sweaty.
But they don't have any shows that are really like, what? She's out and she's about, and
she got
what
that
gives.
off her chest. Oh my God!
I just need to say that because
great.
they do that in sports
That was
too.
a lot. That was a lot. Yeah.
I'm just saying. They'll go like the women's soccer.
So
I'm like,
tell
are
us
they men's soccer?
I totally get where you're going with that. There's there's another local band people that I know who this band called Damsel Trash, and it's this great duo. It's a drum and then a guitar and bass player, and they switch off and they do a lot of crazy stuff. But they actually have a song called All Girl Band.
Nice.
It's amazing. I highly recommend you check it out. I think they're on iTunes.
We're going to check that out
right
away.
Plugging somebody else's band. Like, okay,
Why not?
Megan and Emily, what's up? Damsel Trash, go.
Oh my God.
Well, that brings up so many interesting concepts because we are talking to you today because you have really set a standard for doing something unique. I was looking at your history, and you guys started off in 2010, it looks like, with about 32 campers, and you had that 1 or 2 sessions happening. And in 2015, now you have over 120 campers and 3 different sessions going on. So that's real, like tangible growth.
That's legit.
That's legitimate. It's nice to see that that's happening. Did you have anybody initially telling you, hey, what about the boys? Why don't you do that? Why are they being cast out and away? He's being prejudiced against. I mean, did you have any of that?
You mean like that super awesome reverse sexism that totally doesn't exist?
Right, right. Thank you.
I don't
just have to
so.
say that out loud.
I don't think so. The camp that I work with is part of a larger national organization. So like there's this nationwide sort of association of girls rock camps.
Right.
And I got brought on board in 2013, the summer of 2012, 2012 was when I started like talking with our camp's music director, because I casually mentioned that I have a degree in theater and can do like lights and sound and backstage stuff and all of that. And she went, hey, you should put together a tech/roadie program for these girls to do. And I went, okay, like, I'm not going to say no to that. That's a dream job right there.
Totally.
Right.
Yeah. So I got brought on board to do that. And that was in the summer of 2013 was my first year, because this past summer was my third year. So, quick shout out. That music director, her name is Beth Killey. She's also great.
Yo, Beth. Shout out to Beth.
Go, Beth.
Another Beth. That is a great name.
Oh. Yeah, no.
Oh,
so,
great.
and the great thing is that the camp that I work at is all staffed by female musicians.
Oh,
so, like,
yummy.
I know. No. It sounds unreal when you say it out loud, but it's like,
It does.
all of the instructors are women. All of the band coaches are women. All of the administrative staff are women. Like, everybody is a woman, and they're somehow involved in music. And 100% of us care a lot about what happens with these kids during the course of the week that we spend with them.
That's awesome.
Well, I'm just going to go on a limb
so
and say
cool.
a lot gets done. I mean, and for you gentlemen
God.
listening out there, and for the guys listening out there, because a lot of our listeners are musicians, who are working and playing and doing in all different capacities.
Sure.
But I do want to say, and I will say this in my out loud voice as well, and Paul, try not to get too upset, but I've been in bands since I was in college and out of college and
Right.
union session, everybody, and behind the scenes, above the scenes, and guys just get louder and speak over people, and they've got opinions, and this is how it is, and I'm the guy, I know, and they got to.
I must disagree with this. I really don't think that's.
They do, and if you're a woman
She's
in
the
a
only man in the
band,
room.
if you're a woman in a
really
band
meta.
and you're like the one woman in the band, it's really funky to be listened to, and you could be the most qualified person, and it's still like, oh man, there's a lot of shade.
Oh, I don't know, man.
Oh, I know.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm saying,
Yeah.
I'm saying the guys
But-
are like, I don't know about that idea, girl.
Yeah, they're like, oh, do you really know what
Right.
you're talking
man.
about? You're a moron. You
Yeah.
only have a degree in music, and you've been in bands,
Yeah,
and you're
right.
a union, and you're Grammy Pro, but, we don't know anything about you, so maybe just you shut up. But
Right.
to me, that's a lot like being on a great basketball team, though, when you're with all women, because it's like a bunch of Magic Johnsons. They all want to pass to each other. They want to bring out the best in you. They're like,
Right.
what can you
Yeah.
do? What can I
They
do to
wanna
make you look
share.
good? They want to share. They stop.
Yeah.
Oh, no. What do you think, sweetie? And they're like, I don't know. What do you think?
No,
Let's make that work, huh? Yeah.
Totally. That's the kind of environment that we shoot for, at least with Madison's Girls Rock Camp. I mean, there's no I can't, and there's no straight up like no. It's always tried to be framed in like, well, what if we tried this, or how about if we did this? It's like there's that positive spin on any kind of alteration, and it's all collaborative. And like, I swear, I know it sounds like I'm talking about sitting around a campfire singing Kumbaya for a week, but it's it's really that like same kind of environment where everybody is caring and supportive, and like we pay attention to each other, and we check in, and we make sure that like we do what needs to get done, but also that we're fostering and kind of leading by example with this environment for young girls, so that they can grow up knowing that they don't have to not be heard.
So these
like they don't have to just
So like, are most of the girls who join your workshop rock fans who you then teach to get into playing music, or are they normally people who want to play music and you teach them how to be rock fans?
That's an interesting question. I'm not entirely sure how to answer that. Part of the let me think for a second. Part of the entrance application and everything for camp, kids have to describe their musical experience. So if they have any experience playing any instruments, or what instruments they'd like to learn how to play. And then they list off, 6 or 7 artists that they're really, really into. And it's cool because we get 8 to 12-year-old girls in the first couple of sessions. And it's like Taylor Swift and Meghan Trainor and,
Right.
very, very popular artists. But then there are always those 4 girls who are like, I really love Fleetwood Mac. I really love Joni Mitchell. I really love Joan Baez. And it's like, wait, what are your parents doing? Because I want to meet them and I want them to be my best friends.
Right.
So it's these kids
The
come
classics.
from all different backgrounds and all different skill levels, which is kind of bananas if you think about it, because we throw them into a room together and say, okay, cool, you're going to be here for a week. Yeah.
Well, and the dynamic is so different. I love the concept. Like, Tracy and a lot of listeners know, I've been owning and operating a music studio for 14 years. And we do a lot of rock band camps. We do them every winter season, every summer season, all over the place. We've never done an all-girls one. I never thought we would have enough people to do all girls. And I'm like hardcore about it, right? I'd be like, do it in a heartbeat.
Sure.
But the funny thing is and again, the louder voices of sometimes the young adolescent men is that they love the metal. And so they would really influence their group to be very, I only play metal. I only play like rock.
Oh yeah.
And we always find out by the length of the 1 week or 2 week or whatever session it is. Usually by then their interests have expanded a little bit. They like some things that are melodic. And on the contrary, we want to find out from you coming back too, because we're already at the end of our first segment.
Oh my God.
But we want to talk to you about whether, some of these gals are exposed to some of the more fun, heavy punk stuff, heavy metal stuff, rock. Some of the stuff that's just a great release for everyone, but something that's like, it's like a physical release for anybody who's a musician to play some of that kind of music.
Got that catharsis.
Right. It is. It's so delicious. So we got so much to talk about in the second. Well, before we're going to go in, but I want to make sure we close out with just a few things, right, Connor? By the way, that other voice on the phone that's all clear is Connor, our intern. Say hello. He's got this clear voice, and I sound like Marge Simpson today because. It's just, that's how it is.
And I just sound like me because I'm cool.
Yeah, she's always cool like that. I really want to talk about how you guys decide, and if the students are the ones deciding what pieces to cover, starting with 3 or 4 chord songs, basic rhythms and tempos, and if there's a really push to get these young people exposed to different kinds of music.
And we also want to find out about themes, if there's any themes to the events, the different workshops, that kind of thing, like specific genres that you cordon off a few over here and a few over there for specific genres. If somebody wants to do that punk or that thrash or whatever, because there are female players out there that want to do that heavier stuff. So,
well, in the meantime,
I know.
I want to give a good shout out to, of course, Silver Tiger Production, who's providing a lot of these events and tickets for us for a lot of the shows that we do giveaways at. That's Silver Tiger Production. I want to thank Intertalk Radio, Studio CCMA, Red Giant Promo. Our wonderful intern Connor Rice, who's here, and Paul. He's growing that beard and mustache. Oh, look at him, he's growing it in.
Gluten-free, crunchy,
for the winter.
Peanut butter, gluten-free bars.
We'll see you in a couple of minutes, folks.
We'll be right back.
Are you serious about your music? Are you ready to run with the big dogs? The experts at Pitbull Audio have the gear to get you into the game. From leading manufacturers like Mesa Boogie, Fender, Pioneer, and American Audio. To sound your best, you need the best. Pitbull Audio can deliver in rehearsal, on stage, and into the big time. Dropping beats, shredding guitar, or making the crowd roar. Whatever you dream, Pitbull Audio can help make it happen. We are Pitbull Audio. We want you to play it loud. PitbullAudio.com.
Make this your vinyl night. I'm John J.R. Robinson, and every week, music creation comes alive through stories, experiences, and sounds when vinyl records filled our hearts and minds. My friends and I share our tips and techniques used in creation of iconic tracks for recording artists such as Michael Jackson, Eric Clapton, Quincy Jones, and Steve Winwood, to name a few. Vinyl has emerged hot, and the soul of vinyl defines art and passion which burns deepest at night. Tune in every Wednesday at 2 p.m.
Hi, I'm Tim Dolbear, the host of Sound Experience on Intertalk Radio. Each week, I talk with top professional audio engineers, producers, musicians, and the manufacturers that make the tools that we use in the studio each and every day. From capturing the perfect take to mastering your final release, and the tools and how the pros use them, we are going to dive deep into their process and learn from their experience. I look forward to you joining us each week on Sound Experience with me, your host, Tim Dolbear.
Hey, it's Tracy Smith
and Beth Venus
of Girls Talk Rock right here on the Intertalk Radio Network.
Every Wednesday at 5 p.m. Pacific.
Okay, Beth, they know that, but we want you to know that the industry pro's choice is Silver Tiger Production.
SDP is a full-service production agency offering sound, lighting, installations, talent buying, staffing, backline equipment rental, and sales. Kapow!
It's everything in the entertainment performance industry. It's all that. SilverTigerProduction.com.
Welcome to Girls Talk Rock, where the musician's creativity finds its voice. And here are your hosts, Tracy Smith and Beth Venus.
And of course, I am Tracy Smith, and this is
Beth Venus.
And we are Girls Talk Rock. Okay, we are back with Maggie Maggerson, but I want to give a quick shout out to the guys over at the Rant Pack, and because they gave us a quick shout out today before we went live, so we wouldn't just repay the favor. They've got a nice podcast over there called the Rant Pack. Okay, we're back. We're back with Maggie. Hey, Maggie, we're going to get right back into it.
So, Maggie, you run the Girls Rock Camp in Madison, and if anybody looks at your site, it's girlsrockmadison.org. And you'll see that you guys have a Girls Rock Camp and a Ladies Rock Camp. Let's first talk about the Girls Rock Camp. What happens on the first day? They walk in all like doe-eyed, and what is your just like bam? Do you just throw them in the water, or what's the first thing y'all do?
It's not quite throwing them in the deep end. It's more like that like middle point right before it drops off. We just kind of chuck them in and say, "All right, kids, have fun." No,
get wet.
So first day of camp. There's parents dropping kids off going, oh my gosh, how's my kid going to survive this? And there are kids going, oh my gosh, how am I going to survive this? Because we have this summer, we had 50 campers in the first 2 sessions. So for June and for July, we had 58 to 12-year-old girls who didn't know each other, who might not have known how to play the instrument they signed up to play, who might not have had any experience whatsoever at a summer camp. So first day is always a little weird.
And it's like Girl Scouts. I mean, you show up at camp and no one knows anyone, and they're all friends at the end. Right. Basically, yeah. We have some really, really great people on staff. We have girl power coaches, and that's kind of the, hey, I see you're struggling. I'm going to take you aside, and we can talk this through and figure out a solution. But they're also the people who lead like the big group activity. So in the morning, it's like, let's get to know everybody's name games, and let's get to, shake all the sillies out, because 8 to 12-year-old girls have a lot of energy.
There's a lot going on.
It's a little bit crazy.
Tell us when. Tell us when is your camp? It's October, 21st, 22nd?
That's this upcoming Ladies Rock Camp.
Okay.
So girls, So all the Girls Rock Camp sessions are, there's 1 week in June, 1 week in July, and then 1 week in August.
Yeah, okay. So
for the 3 sessions
each week.
So,
well, it's kind of interesting to me because all across the country, there's people running programs. Do you guys go with the model that you have that 25 or 50 kids in a group together, and then you just have them all take turns rotating on different songs, or do you break them down into like teams that are actual little bands of 4 to 6 musicians, and then from that point on they kind of stay together, and they're the Milky Ways or whatever the heck they want to be. Like, they name their band, and we're going to do 3 covers and write two originals, and we're the it band. And so then they break off into their rotations, I guess. But do you guys do it that way, or do you keep them just like one big group, and then you have a theme, like we're going to do Joni Mitchell this week, and everybody's covering different songs, and on this song you're a vocalist, and on this song you're a bass player, and how is your actual logistics set up for the camp?
Right. So I'm not even sure how long it takes for our administrative queen, Hallie Paulet, to do what she does. But somehow she takes all of the kids who have signed up and sorts them into which instruments they'll be playing, and then divides them into bands, usually by age. So like instead of having an 8-year-old and like a 12 or 13-year-old girl in the same band together, we've got a bunch of 8-year-olds, and there's a guitarist, a drummer, a bass player, a singer, a keyboard player, occasionally a violinist. This past summer we had a sax player. It was really, really cool.
Awesome. That's a very Lindsay Sterling thing, though, to have a violinist.
Yeah. What was that?
Very Lindsay Sterling. A violinist with maybe 2 drummers or something. Yeah.
I know, definitely.
And a DJ.
So, we do actually have a DJ program for our advanced camp in August as well. So that's pretty cool. But, so these kids all get sorted into bands before they get to camp. So that way we can just go, all right, you're going to this room because you're doing this. You're going to that room because you're doing that. Because there's 58 to 12-year-old girls running around.
Do you have an excess of girls who just want to be the lead singer, or do they post that they have a primary and secondary instrumental interest?
Well, and if they do just want to be a vocalist, do you push them towards learning an instrument?
It really depends on how many other people signed up to just be the vocalist or just be the guitarist, So it's like, it kind of depends on the day to day. But, like I said earlier, there's no I can't. So everyone has the opportunity to do a lot of different things. And we've been really, really fortunate in that we have a lot of the equipment necessary to make those dreams happen for these kids.
Awesome.
So if you want to sing and play guitar at the same time, you can go ahead and do that in your band. If you want to, drum and sing at the same time, you're a braver woman than I am, go for it.
What is the ratio you have for campers versus like docents and instructors and, adults, for lack of a better word? Do you break them up? Like
supervision,
Well, supervision and teaching is like such a different thing, Or do you have some people who are just hanging out to make sure nobody's messing around, or do you just have like an adult with every band?
Yes to all of these things. So we have, I know. So we have people who work as band managers. So they make sure that their specific group of small humans goes where they need to go, when they need to go there. We've got band coaches who help, sit kids down, write the song, help work out any issues with instrumentation, and communicate with the instructors, which is another group of grown-ups. And then we'll have, people who come and perform for the kids. This is the other really cool thing, is that during their lunch hour, we'll have local bands that have female musicians, usually female front women, if not more than one female member, come and play a half-hour set for these kids. So they get to sit and watch these different genres of music every single day at lunch.
Awesome. Now, that's a great idea.
So we have, I think, maybe 20 or 25 adults at camp every week.
That's huge. That's a huge staff.
That's good.
Yeah.
And tell me this much. Is it all voluntary, or do you guys actually get paid by the people that are paying an entrance fee?
We actually do get paid. It's pretty cool.
Should be. As it should be.
Well, that's why I'm saying wow, because most people just donate their time, donate their energy, and make it a free camp. So you guys are...
Well, that's interesting.
Sounds
You
like
say
you
that, too, because it's when
model.
women are involved, they expect a lot of volunteering.
And they do expect a lot of free things out of women, too, because we know this.
We know it very well.
That's why I was asking. So that's amazing that you can actually make a living off of, well, maybe not make a living, but extra income.
Well, it's part of a musician's career path, I think, to, be in all kinds of
Sounds like
avenues.
It's a great model. That's what I'm saying.
It's super great.
Connor, looked like you had something to say.
It's really interesting that it is a rock and roll camp, because if we actually look at the music itself, the culture and the idea of rock and roll has always been rebellion, being loud, and being powerful, which if for themes of empowerment is very related. So I want to know if you have any particularly inspiring, teardroppy stories about individual girls, maybe a specific girl, who learned to be loud and defiant and powerful.
We like that.
What's great is that it's less about the defiance, because again, we really strive for that like collaborative environment. So I think there's, and I don't know if that has
defiance against the people there, but defiance against the system that says be quiet.
Like Rage Against the Machine,
no,
you know
definitely.
what I'm saying? Yeah.
Like they're always telling it's like playing soccer with girls. When you play soccer with a bunch of 4-year-old girls, innately the 4-year-old girls will be like, oh, pardon me, excuse me. And you play like literally bumping into each other. In soccer, you're supposed to bump into each other and say, get the heck out of my way. You play with a bunch of 4-year-old boys. And by the way, testosterone is not an issue at 4. So don't all the men listening tell me, well, they're boys. They have no.
Yeah, boys will be boys.
Girls are way physically tougher at 4 years old. Way.
Oh, yeah.
But they've been taught to say, excuse me and pardon me. And it's a really big deal for a coach of young girls in sports to be like, practice banging into each other without saying, excuse me, pardon me, no, you go first. So I'm listening to Connor, and I'm thinking...
more like alpha females, I guess is what we're getting to, right?
Just being not scared to bump into each other, make a little, like you said, be loud, and not go, oh, is that okay?
Well, any rock and roll that doesn't make some kind of authority figure nervous isn't real rock and roll. It's like seeing a tiger in a cage. You feel sad for the tiger, and you just want to put it out of its misery.
Okay, go ahead, Maggie. Answer that one.
Yeah. So I think there's this really interesting dichotomy that happens where over the course of the 5 days that we have these kids and we're, guiding them along the path to future rock stardom, part of it is we encourage taking turns and being respectful of other people's ideas and, really just working together. But then we also are like, no. You can turn the volume up higher.
Right.
Me. You can be louder because we have experience with these things. We all know that the louder you are, the better you sound. That's just the default.
Does it
obviously.
go to 11? My app goes to 11.
Okay, so here's the thing. We have a friend named Ronnie Lee, and Ronnie Lee is a female shredder. She's a good friend of ours on the show. She's a shredder. And she's got one saying, "Don't touch my knobs," meaning that guys want to walk up on stage and try and turn her amp a different way.
Gear,
they want to mess with her knobs.
Yeah.
And we're making T-shirts for her that says "Don't mess with my knobs."
For all of us, we have to have Girls Talk Rock shirts that say
Ronnie
"Don't
Lee
touch my knobs."
But that's a
that's
good
awesome.
Yeah, that's a good thing that we have here. It's just Ronnie Lee, "Don't touch my knobs."
Oh my.
No, and I think that's the other great thing is that we don't have random dudes wandering around going, oh, well, this should sound like this.
Yeah, just touching.
We've got female musicians who are like, hey, how about this? Like, let's try this. And it's much more permission-based than it is just, I'm going to do this because I said I can, and I'm a dude, so I'm just going to go for it.
Now, I like this that you guys have a gear manager, but I'm also very curious, and since you have a background in theater and staging and all this is probably up your alley. But I know at our camps, and not all the parents understand it, we always it sounds crazy, but we got to teach kids how to wrap cable, right? And how to, how to treat a mic and
gear tech.
A lot of this is how redirection, and part of it is because we do also booking. We get kids maybe to open at a venue or a club that we can get them into, to have that experience. But one of the biggest issues we have with bringing young people into adult locations is that they're little poopy heads, right? They'll be they have their mom bringing their gear in, or they expect their parents to be their roadies. So we would always be like, hey, you wrap your own cable, you set up your own gear. If you can't pick it up, you need a smaller flipping amp, or you need to get wheels on that puppy.
Sure.
Trying to teach them how to work with sound and light tech people without being, without acting like you're too cool for school. Now, but the girls, I don't think that's as much of an issue. But just those basic skills says so much. Mm-hmm. Is that do they consider that the boring part of the session, or do you guys really take time and go, okay, you guys, this is rapid cable.
Yeah, let's make it fun.
Your elbow is not involved, and we're just gonna, get you doing this.
Well, personally, I hope they don't consider that the boring part, because those are the sections of our August camp that I teach, because I do our tech roadie program.
I bet you
so I really hope they find those interesting.
Yeah.
But that's because I find them interesting, and I'm just a giant dork about this stuff.
Yeah, and what's cool is girls don't realize that this can lead into careers. We just met a girl on the road who's the tour production manager for the Goo Goo Dolls. And and Brian Seltzer.
We interviewed her at Kaboo.
Yeah, we interviewed her at Kaboo. Her name is MC. We shout out to MC. And that's the first thing she said was, oh, God, girls, if you are interested in anything like this, you really need to follow this, because it can be challenging at times, but she makes a really good paycheck. And she's gone 53 days out of the year, and her husband does the same thing, so they never see each other. But it's all good because, you know what I'm saying? Yeah, that's the way it is. But I think more women have to have that mindset that there are so many careers in music that you don't just have to be the guitar player or the drummer there is lights, there is sound, there is other aspects, touring managers and logistics.
There's so much more that you can get into, which is another really great part about running a tech program is because, you know, it's a door into another section of this world that I don't think a lot of teenage girls necessarily thought of. So, yeah.
Do you run them through when you run through sound check and gear, are they empowered by it, or is it something that they wish everybody was doing for them?
I think it kind of depends on the age. With the younger campers, we're a little bit more hands-on, simply because some of these bass guitars are longer than our campers are tall.
Yes.
You know what I mean? So right? It's like a safety concern. It's like we don't want them to drop anything or trip over anything and hurt themselves because they are like 2 feet tall.
Yep.
With our older girls, we have a couple of workshops. I mean, we've got one during our third session. It's generally like the high school age kids, so like late middle school through to like 18 years old high school age kids who come through. And one of the things that we do is we have like a group tech session. So that's when kids will learn, okay, what's the very basic way to communicate with somebody who might not be able to hear me? Like, how do I tell the sound guy that I can't hear anything in my monitor? Do I point at it? I get his attention. You know, I do this. This is the step by step. And I'm like 50% sure that they thought it was pretty cool to learn, because that made their sound check a lot easier at the end of the week. But, you know,
now,
you never know.
Tell me about some of the manufacturers that you guys work with specifically. Like, do you rock Daisy Rock Girl guitars, or what? You know, is there specifically somebody that sponsors you in your local area that you want to give a shout out to, or anything like that? You got 1 minute to this third segment.
Oh man, let's see. Big shout out to Paradigm Productions. They do all of our recording.
Awesome.
Every single session. So they sit and they have all of us run through the studio for hours and hours and hours and hours on Fridays, every single camp. So shout out to them, because they've been nothing but awesome. They make us all sound great all the time. And then shout out to Hyde Music and to Guitar Center in Middleton, who I know have been pretty helpful in the past. So
awesome.
Way to go, guys.
All right, well, hold that thought, because we're going into the third segment. And when we come back, we're going to talk to you all more about
Ladies Rock Camp.
That's right, Ladies Rock Camp.
Yeah.
We're going to get into the adult aspect of the Ladies Rock Camp, and we'll talk a little bit more about your fun bands. I know cosplay is a big thing, and you take it very seriously when you do your band, so we want to talk about that more.
Rock and roll, my friend. Hey, I'm Beth Venus.
I'm Tracy Smith, and we're Girls Talk Rock.
We'll be back in a couple of minutes for our third segment with Girls Rock Camp Madison.
Yeah, and thank you to EnterTalk. We'll be right back.
Hi, this is Tim Dolbear, host of Sound Experience here on EnterTalk Radio. And Source Connect by Source Element is the essential tool that we use to link between my studio in Austin, Texas, and the WS radio station in San Diego. Now, with Source Connect, not only can we communicate in real time and with HD audio, but it's synced up and is of a high enough quality that I can use it for real-time ADR work, remote recording, and overdubbing, and it even allows me to remotely control a DAW. Source Connect by Source Element. Affordable, high-quality audio and video connection over the internet for all of your production needs.
You know what's all around you every waking moment of your life? Marketing. You're choking on it. I'm Scott Robertson, and when it comes to strategic PR, branding, and marketing, I've seen it all. And actually, I'm still seeing it because bad marketing never sleeps. Join me each week on May the Best Brand Win, right here on EnterTalk Radio, and learn how to make the marketing for your brand unforgettable.
Girls are talking rock again.
And people are listening.
Today we're talking bands.
Let's talk promotion. Red Giant promo, graphics, EPKs, video, photos, social media, and brand building using content marketing.
But let's talk studio at CCMA, which is events, rehearsal, tour prep, piano, guitar, voice, rock band, lessons, workshops, and clinics. Yeah!
Both proud sponsors of Girls Talk Rock.
Well, get the lowdown on these services and contact me, Tracy, at girlstalkrock.com.
Are you serious about your music? Are you ready to run with the big dogs? The experts at Pitbull Audio have the gear to get you into the game. From leading manufacturers like Mesa Boogie, Fender, Pioneer, and American Audio. To sound your best, you need the best. Pitbull Audio can deliver in rehearsal, on stage, and into the big time. Dropping beats, shredding guitar, or making the crowd roar. Whatever you dream, Pitbull Audio can help make it happen. We are Pitbull Audio. We want you to play it loud. PitbullAudio.com.
Welcome to Girls Talk Rock, where the musician's creativity finds its voice. And here are your hosts, Tracy Smith and Beth Venus.
Oh my gosh, that's us.
Speaking of rock and roll, man, that's Paul, our producer, on the guitar right there. And that's my husband, Lee Smith, on the bass right there, ripping that little intro music for us.
I think I've got to create a new, addition to our theme that has Trace, you and me. Like, I
just want to give a shout out to myself, too, because that was my vision for my music, and they pulled it off for me. So awesome.
So I know we left last segment, and again, we're going to remind our listeners we had like the coolest session today with Girls Rock Camp Madison.
Totally, Maggie Maggerson,
and it's a really a great site to look at if you are looking at girls rock camps or just rock camps in general. It can be a guide for really just running these things. As a kind of a veteran of it myself out here on the West Coast, we've been doing it for 14 years over at Studio CCMA.
So that's why I wanted to ask about the logistics behind it.
Logistics are, just about 90% of everything,
yes.
right? And it's like, you have so much to offer these kids, and it sounds like you guys are just like so on the right track.
Together.
And so many of these parents, of course, are excited about getting their children, much less their girls, involved in music. And that's just, awesome, because there's not enough of that. But then we're looking into doing adult rock camps. Now, at Studio CCMA, we do corporate team building, doing rock camps. And we'll have like the IT department and the marketing department and maybe like the engineers. Which, by the way, people, yes, IT and engineering are different, and they definitely love to compete against each other. Like if we'll have Cisco or somebody, and they'll each have a band, and within a certain frame of time, and man, they get competitive and work together to pound that thing through. So I've done that on an adult level, but I've never done a ladies rock camp. So what do you guys, Connor? You were asking really about an extension of that.
Well, we've been having this conversation about how you run the camp, but we haven't really, we've just operated on the implicit assumption of like why it's so great. I mean, rock and roll in the music industry is very male dominated. One of the reasons is because women can't do the job. It's because often they don't want to go into an industry where they have to work twice as hard just to be considered on par. So like as a girl or a woman, sitting in front of you in theory, like what's the pitch? What's in it for me? Why should I want to work that hard to be in the music industry? What ambition end goal am I pursuing that makes it important and meaningful for me to go into music and break that boundary? What makes it worth the effort?
Well, part of it is just, it's kind of rewarding in and of itself to say, hey, I did that. That's really the goal. It's not the music that's the goal, it's the empowerment factor. So it's like being able to look back and say, I got up on stage and I played this song that I wrote with these people I didn't know in, I don't know, if it's Girls Rock Camp, they wrote a song in 5 days. If it's Ladies Rock Camp, they wrote a song in 2.5 days. So it's like the ability to say, I can do this, what's next?
Right.
You know what I mean? Like,
so
that's
it's
really
emotional
like
and
the
psychological
reward in and of itself.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, we've had campers, both from Girls Rock Camp and from Ladies Rock Camp, go on to start, their own musical careers. We had this group of kids that was together, at least 4 years, called the Stargazers, and they came back every single year, and they wrote a new song, and they played shows out in Madison, and it was awesome.
Cool.
And then, as some bands tend to, they just sort of grew apart and started working on different projects. Yeah. We've got a couple of ladies from previous Ladies Rock camps. I know the drummer, my drummer from Imaginary Watermelon, Jenna Jonas. Shout out, Jenna.
Jenna.
Hey, Jenna.
She's working with a couple of people right now to record some original stuff for them. So that's pretty awesome.
Yeah.
Cool.
So, it really depends on the camper and on what they're looking for, I guess. But, by and large, our goal is to be able to give them the tools necessary to say, yeah, I can do that. Okay, I can do that too. Bring it. Let's go. You know what I mean?
Right. It's empowerment.
Well, I think too, Connor, in talking to you about that, and let me know if you feel the same way, Maggie, is I know as a working musician myself, and as, it's one of those things where, one, I'm really used to working with a lot of men. And so when I have the opportunity to work with women who are like, I'm not going to say as serious. I just want to say I love it as much and want to do as much. It's really it's very exciting. And what we usually have in common is our goal to have a really quality product. More so that I don't know if that's the only common denominator, but like I know that's been like something that's drawn me with some of the other women. I've got another woman in my current band, and we seem to be like the ones calling out what we think is going to be amazing, what's going to sell. We're a little more three-dimensional in our goals.
Shout out to Groove Kitty.
Yeah. But, I think, Connor, you want to know, like, are you going to go have a career? Because so many men are in the music industry just like they're playing at the bars or they're just playing for church on Sundays or Wednesday services or whatever. There's so many different places you can put music at. Just the ability to go in and sit in and jam with someone is like something that a lot of people don't expect in adding dimension to you as a human being, right? When you can sit down and do that. That's like, what? You know how to do that?
No, definitely. It's always fun to walk into a room with a guitar or a piano and just sit down and start doing something, and people go,
they don't expect it. Yeah. So that's fun. Yeah. The fun part too.
It's a good time.
It's more than that because there are 1,000 different ways to express yourself creatively, and there are a million different obstacles to overcome. So why music?
Yeah.
For my dad, it was to meet girls. For me, it was to meet girls. For 99% of men in the music industry, it is to meet girls. So why music for girls? Why
maybe
music
because
specifically?
Now let's turn
Definitely
the tables.
not to meet men.
Exactly. So what's in it for you?
I was going to say
for me, it was definitely to meet girls too. But
I was going to say we can almost turn the tables on that a little bit and say girls are tired of being, fans that chase these guys around. So they probably figure it's about time that I can just pick up that guitar or pick up that instrument and just go out there and do it myself and rock the world.
Why be a cheerleader when you can play the game?
That's right.
Not that I don't love my cheerleaders out there. Yay to the cheerleaders. But I'm just saying if you have opportunity to score that touchdown yourself and get the elation you get from doing that is...
That's right.
I think most working bands, like, what's our litmus with Kitty and most of the bands at Silver Tiger? Like we say, if it doesn't have an emotional, psychological, and fiscal payoff, if you don't have at least two of those three,
then what are you
doing? What are you doing?
Right. If it's not doing anything for you, then what's the point?
Stop.
I just wanted to give some respect to you because it's really difficult to take females and put them in a room and do anything with them. Not even outside. No, I mean as far as keeping them all like on
focused.
The same track and focused and everything else.
We're so
expected
because
we multitask. So when I'm sure when you get a group of guys here, they sit there and all they want to do is play their guitar, right?
Doodle,
but then you got like 17 or 18 dudes in a room all trying to play the same guitar lick, but
it's like being a guitar center. Yeah, it's like being a guitar center on any given day. But it's true. The women So you go into a women's rock camp, and you're dealing with moms and people who are working, 18 hours a day, and they have all these obligations, and they have teenage kids, and they have little kids, and they're overwhelmed, and they're pulled apart. It's really hard to tell them, like, put down your damn phone. We're going to we're going to be present now. We're going to be focused.
That's right.
Because they're like, really? Because if someone's in the hospital, I need to pick up the phone. They're like they're like not messing around. They're like, are you kidding me? As
but
Layla
that's why
put it
we
the other
multitask.
Day, she made some money. I think she got like $200 cash for a gig. The guy handed her the money. And then I saw her in the same moment hand it to her kid for some camp. Like it was in her hands for like 20 seconds.
3 seconds.
Yeah, it was quick. And the other guy in her band goes, Why do you do that? She goes, well, if I don't, who's gonna? Like, because
right.
it was like such a female answer. It was like, well, yeah, because that's what
because I'm his mother.
That's what I do.
That's what we do.
Constantly focused on putting worth on making sure everybody else is taken care of. How do you bring that to the table at the Ladies Rock Camp to make sure that they're investing that time in themselves and present and in the moment for what music has to offer and that kind of fellowship has to offer with other women? How do you get them there?
It's cool because there are some striking similarities between overly energetic 8-year-old girls and very, very excited women who may or may not have any experience playing instruments. First day of camp is kind of the same thing. They're all very excited to be where they are, but not quite sure what to expect or what they're going to get out of it. And some of them aren't quite sure what they are going to end up playing. Some of them, like I said, some of them have been writing songs and creating music before, and they just do this because, hey, let's hang out with women and play in a band and, get that ball rolling. But, by and large, it's very, very novice to intermediate level women who definitely are just like, yeah, I'm going to dip my toe into this, and I'm going to see how this feels.
Now, answer this silly question. Oh, sorry, go ahead.
Answer which silly question?
Well, I was going to say you were going to finish your thought, but I wanted to know: is this a sleepover camp or is this a place where people can go home at night and come back? Because if it was a sleepover camp and you had women adults away from home for 5 days, I think the world would end. I'm just saying.
I'm just saying. I think there'd be a lot of liquor involved.
This is definitely just a day camp.
Okay, good.
We've had some conversations about that, and every single time somebody brings up I wonder what it would be like if campers stayed overnight. Somebody just gets this like deer in the headlights look of horror, like, oh no.
Well, at least women.
Because then we'd have to have people overnight.
Yeah, right.
Then we'd have to coordinate the logistics for all those other people.
Oh, and
it's so much
dinner
work
and everything else.
Right.
That's interesting. I mean, just the thought of bringing them together, does it feel more like religion when it is women together in a room? Because when you bring a lot of women together in a room, you get these visions of the PTO and, church, fundraisers and, groups.
Yeah.
And I mean, I'm just having been there, I'm saying that. And then when you see them to get together for a music, what is the dialogue like, and do you find it ends up being really expressionate? Is everybody kind of letting out and finding their true selves a little bit?
Yeah, definitely. And I think that's partially because, we're in a very, very safe space to do that. If you were going into a co-ed music group, for adults, and you had 6 or 7 dudes on one side of the room and a few women on the other, and you were asked to, share a little bit about what you expect or what you want to get out of this, I would hazard the guess that it would be much less comfortable to say in front of a bunch of guys, well, I want to find, my own personal style and open up a little bit more about myself and maybe dig deeper into some of these feelings I'm having, because that's just not something that's expected to be comfortable to talk about with men.
Yeah.
But with a group full of women, it's
therapy.
There's that default kind of, we understand how to talk about our feelings and we're a little bit better at it sort of thing.
Yeah.
Okay, so now we're come down to the last 3 minutes of the show. So Beth and I have something.
Whoa,
Beth and I have something called Quattro Questions, and you must answer them. It's four random questions, and it just gives us insight into how you think and feel.
Oh, my God.
Okay.
What's
the first Quattro, Beth?
The first Quattro question is really just about you and performing. One, if you could play any venue and this is a specific thing, is to have one of your bands from your kids' bands open for you and you play with, I have to say, it has to be with the super, what's the one I like so much?
Super Diamond?
No, her name of her band.
Oh, Super Villain.
Super Villain.
Super Villain Fire Drill.
Fire Drill.
Yes.
Oh, it's such a great name.
Okay, answer
Where
the
would you play? Where would you play and with what?
Oh my gosh. Pressure. I had a great band this summer called Pinkalicious. They wrote a great song about the color pink and about, it was great. They were 9 and 10 years old. It was a killer song. It was super catchy. I would love to have them open for the Supervillains probably at like Benaroya Hall, just because it's a great space and the acoustics are amazing.
There you go.
Rock
there
and
you
roll.
go.
There we go.
All right, here's our second Quattro question. Are you the sun, the moon, or the stars?
Oh.
Why can't I be all three?
Oh, you can. Because that's how women multitask. Good answer. Beth, what's the next Quattro question?
Well, it's going to be like everything else. And men, when you hear this, do not get all naughty on me. Sweet or salty? You like sweets?
Sweet or salty?
Yeah. Sweet or salty?
Oh,
are you a
I
sweets
have
or
the
salty
biggest
person?
sweet tooth in the universe, so I'm going to go with sweet.
Oh, she's my girl. I'm sitting here eating Skittles and what else?
All right, so here's Quattro question number 4. If you're stuck in a time period, what time period is it because you like the music so much? Forever.
Oh, this is the worst question to ask a music nerd.
That's what we're known for.
All right. Early 70s.
There you go. Yay!
You've got, like, the best of all worlds.
Simon and Garfunkel. We're talking.
You've got
Linda
protest
Ronstadt.
songs. You've got Led Zeppelin. You've got Black Sabbath starting.
Yes.
Like, you're just in it.
Delicious.
You can pick anything and just go with it. That's what I'm going with. Early 70s.
Well, we want to send a shout out. You know, we've been online.
We got to have your links real quick.
Girls Rock Camp, and this is Girls Rock Camp Madison. They can be found at girlsrockmadison.org. If you are listening in California or Nevada or Arizona, and you're like, my studio needs to do that, or where I am at, we ought to be doing that. You know, this is the general information today and some really good insight on what's happening. But, you know, give them a call over there at Girls Rock Camp Madison. And you guys have been great. Let us know what works and doesn't work. And I know we're very girl power, very male power, but we're everybody power, because when girls are powerful and men are more powerful when we're more powerful.
All right, you have 30 seconds. Give us the last link, shout outs, anything else you want anybody to know.
All right, super big shout out to all my bandmates, all the nerdy friends I have who decided to listen.
Nerds rock.
Nerds rock.
Thanks to Jess, who set this up, because it's all her fault that I'm here.
Yeah,
we like Jess.
From
Resounding Sound.
Resounding Joy.
Yes,
Thank
Resounding
you.
Joy.
Yes.
Nice
and
people.
thanks to you guys for having me. This has been fun.
It's been a pleasure, and we're going to see what we can do. We'd love for you guys to come out here and play some events out here.
We got to hurry up and say 16 seconds. We've got tickets for different events. You've got to hit us up on our Facebook page at girlstalkrock.com.
Message us. Send us your pictures.
Tracy at girlstalkrock, Beth at girlstalkrock.com. Our email addresses, hit us up. We got House of Blues. We got all kinds of venues coming up. That
House of Blues, October 23rd, and Zombie Fest, October 14th to 16th. Send us your pictures. Send us, and you may win a prize pack. Free.
Thank you so much, Maggie. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Maggie. Girls Rock Camp Madison.
Thank you so much.
All right. Thank you, entertalkradio.com. Girls Talk Rock. Hey, it's Tracy Smith
And Beth Venus
of Girls Talk Rock, right here on the Intertalk Radio Network.
every Wednesday at 5 p.m. Pacific.
Okay, Beth, they know that, but we want you to know that the industry pro's choice is Silver Tiger Production.
SDP is a full-service production agency offering sound, lighting, installations, talent buying, staffing, backline equipment rental, and sales. Kapow!
It's everything in the entertainment performance industry. It's all that. SilverTigerProduction.com.
Hi, this is Tim Dolbear from Eclectica Studios. I'm a full-time mixing and recording engineer. I work with Grammy winners, labels, and indie artists, using state-of-the-art digital mixing and restoration tools and the very best in analog gear. Really, though, it's my ability to bring tracks to life and fulfill your vision for your music. This has made me sought after by producers and artists worldwide. So spend your time working on music and not chasing a mix down a rabbit hole. Go to timdolbear.com and check out our free one-song mix offer.
You know what's all around you every waking moment of your life? Marketing. You're choking on it. I'm Scott Robertson, and when it comes to strategic PR, branding, and marketing, I've seen it all. And actually, I'm still seeing it because bad marketing never sleeps. Join me each week on May the Best Brand Win, right here on Intertalk Radio, and learn how to make the marketing for your brand unforgettable.
Are you serious about your music? Are you ready to run with the big dogs? The experts at Pitbull Audio have the gear to get you into the game. From leading manufacturers like Mesa Boogie, Fender, Pioneer, and American Audio. To sound your best, you need the best. Pitbull Audio can deliver. in rehearsal, on stage, and into the big time. Dropping beats, shredding guitar, or making the crowd roar. Whatever you dream, Pitbull Audio can help make it happen. We are Pitbull Audio. We want you to play it loud. PitbullAudio.com.